Welcome to the Time In podcast.
Welcome to a Time In podcast video. As we're now on YouTube, we thought, what is the easiest content we could do? And we landed on a tier list. And as always, with our content, we thought we'll go right back to the comfort zone, which is Destiny.
Oh,
I mean,
my favourite.
Could you pick a better place to start? I don't think so. Myself and Craig this week. So, Craig, would you like to run us down the tiers quickly?
Yeah, no worries at all. So it's pretty standard tier list. So we start with S tier, best of the best, the daddies, the god weapons, which will be funny because Ewan and I use very different builds when we're playing the game. Obviously one of us is playing it a lot more than the other. Then we've got A tier, amazing but a little short of something, so just something missing, just that little thing that can make it perfect's not there. B tier, great to use but not all of the time, so it's very situal, so if it's a PvP gun, or do you know what I mean? C tier, good and fun but needs a lot of work. So that kind of middle ground, it does the job but it's got potential. D tier, not good, not good but fun to use, which is quite an important one actually. I think there'll be a few of them.
I think there's an awful lot fall into that tier.
Definitely. And then F tier, not trash but there are better things to use. So it's, say for example, it's not really viable to use, but you do find maybe a situation that works in. Yeah. And then T tier, trash, who uses it. That's pretty self-explanatory. So Ewan being the Destiny guru, I'm very out of date. There'll be a lot of guns that I can't fully remember the name of, so please bear with us. There might be ones that we might just skip. So we might just select ones that we know and you've used well, rather than give a false opinion of something we don't know. Yeah. So I'm going to start off, right?
Okay.
With one of the fucking most questionable, and that is Fighting Lion. So I'm going to just pop it here now and see until we've made a decision.
It's useful, but only in certain situations and for certain things. So for me, it's when you're trying to unlock, oh god, what's his name? Wendigo,
yeah.
What else did you? And Mountaintop. Those it was really useful, but only in PvP and only on the week where the game mode was available, where it's like hardcore and it's one hit kill. So it's incredibly situational.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. When the move to Destiny 2, I could not stand grenade launchers. So I don't know. For me, I would put D at F, but I guess it's like you said, it's good in PvP. It's got the ability that you can select when it explodes, when it detonates. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
situational. We'll put it in situational. Okay, if I can get a pick next, I'm going to say that.
But we're saying D.
Yeah, go D.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to put Anarchy in A because the DPS capabilities of that monster, it's one of those staples now where someone in the raid team needs to have it. It's not easy to get, but it's really good. PvE, PvP, not so much in PvP, but it's still useful.
See, I've not used it, but for every bit of content I see, whether it be YouTube, Twitch, everybody says it's the best exotic in Destiny. I've seen the damage it does in raids, and I would argue it's S because of that, because it is the top tier weapon for damage.
But it's not that good in PvP is my argument for it.
So you would say for something to be S, it has to be a master in both?
It has to be an all-round gun.
Right, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that. Okay, I'll give you that. Let me choose one, and I'm going to, because it's one I actually know quite well, and that's Merciless. So we'll just pop it C starting off now. In Destiny 2's launch, it was the most powerful weapon.
Yep.
So how it works is obviously, it's a auto shooting gun. What's the word I'm looking for? The phrase.
Automatic fire.
Automatic fire.
You keep pulling the trigger, it gets faster and faster firing.
It does more damage as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it does more damage because it fires faster.
See, my argument would be people who came into D2 and didn't play D1 is that D1 fusion rifles were badass. So you think of like, fuck, what's the fusion rifle from
foil,
Praetorian
Plan
foil?
Z.
Yeah, there's so
Plan
many.
Z was huge.
Yeah, it was awesome. For me, obviously, it was such a strong gun at the time, but now fusions aren't. They're very situational.
I use them a lot, but I use them PvP. That's pretty much it.
They're situational, and it's quite difficult to get the full output of Merciless. For example, if you're doing raids now and you want to use Merciless and you want to get the full damage, you're going to probably kill yourself doing it. So I would maybe keep it at C.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair.
Jade Rabbit, very situational. It's one of my favourite PvP weapons, and I still absolutely slap with it. I think it needs to go in tier C.
I would argue B, because it's so B is obviously great to use, but not all the time. Jade Rabbit's shit in PvE, but in PvP,
it's very shit in PvE, but PvP is incredible.
It slaps. So I don't know what your thoughts are. I would potentially.
It's not a popular weapon. Not a lot of people use it, but I would put it in C, and that's me being fair, I would say.
You're the expert on it. The thing is, as well, going back to D1, is that scout rifles were huge. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were the meta between them and hand cannons. So it depends if you came from that background. But I'm going to pick a daddy right now, and it's the Ace of Spades, and it's going in S tier. It is fucking phenomenal. It's phenomenal in PvP.
I'd like to start by saying you're wrong.
No. It's amazing in PvP.
It can't be S tier.
How?
Because on console, it's shit.
So, if you watch any footage on it, the damage output on PvE and PvP is insane.
You're not using that for boss damage, ever.
You've not used it. My argument would be S. If you give me a counter argument to move it down, then I'll listen.
Okay, you can't use it for boss DPS. Hand cannons, although they're great in PvP on PC, when it comes to console, where the majority of the population are, hand cannons aren't the best choice. I admit it's an incredible weapon. It's not S tier.
It's not going any lower than A. It's not going any lower than A. It's not going any lower than A. It's, for me, it's phenomenal. You can tell Ewan plays on console, not PC, because it's so good. In both, in PvP and PvE, it's amazing.
I'm looking through this. I don't know if there is an S tier, which is scary to say. Oh god. My opinion, if we're trying to pick an S tier, it needs to be something that can be used anywhere. And I'm thinking in my head, the only viable options have to be Suros because of its adaptability. But again, am I using it for boss DPS? Yes, but only if I run out of everything else. I think A is fair. It's almost the flagship weapon of Destiny.
It's one of them. It's solid in PvP and it's usable in PvE. I still think Ace of Spades personally is a better weapon, but again, it comes down to preference. Like I said, this is not facts, this is just personal preference. So,
and I mean, the fact that we can't pick out a distinct ranking for every single weapon is good, because they spend years working on the meta to try and make sure you've got so many choices. So it makes sense to have a few options. How about you, Craig? There's another one that's very situational, and there's another one that's potentially A tier. They're sitting in the same column.
I'm just trying to... I'm going to bring one of my favourite D2 weapons in the now, because I think that kind of fits in the argument you're saying, and that's Risk Runner. Right?
Okay.
Now, I'm going to put A, but there could be an argument on the debate here. If you're a Striker Titan with double pulse grenades, so how Risk Runner works is it activates the chain ability similar to Zalos Supercell in Destiny 1. And once you receive arc damage, it activates it. So if you're a Striker Titan running double pulse, if you throw one at the ground damaging yourself, you automatically upload that ability within the gun. So the factor is, you could, if you've got discipline in a build, you could use that and like constantly have that ability up, and when that ability's up, the damage it does and the clearance of ads is fucking insane. It is so good. The ability doesn't obviously happen as much in PvP, but it's still really viable if you're at close range with Risk Runner. I think it's an awesome gun, and to be fair, I hate submachine gun as a category, but that gun is just, I love it.
See, for that reason, I would put it to B, because there's some SMGs I'm not a fan of. I argue Recluse is one of the only ones you could use viably in PvP.
Mhm.
The Risk Runner, if you don't proc the ability, it goes down to probably a D tier without the ability. So if you average it out and you say put it down to B, that probably balances it out for me.
Fair enough. You got any particular you'd like up?
I've got a very situational one.
Right, go for
Jotun.
it. I was
is
gonna
great
bring
for
up Ewan.
PvP. It is the sweatiest, scummiest weapon in the game for PvP, and I love it for that reason.
I think because of how good. Well, suppose
Easy to use.
B
It's hard to get.
B's great to use, but not all the time. That makes sense because close range, if you use it, you're gonna die, and if you're on PvE, it's not fantastic. But for PvP, in my opinion, and yours probably, it's one of the best guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
My next two are going to be attempt at S tier.
Right. Well, what I'll do is, whilst you're doing that, I'm gonna bring one in. Oh, that's very situational.
Okay.
And it's a D1 favourite. And for me, Born.
I'm actually using that a lot at the moment with necrotic grips and the necrotic grips and Thorn. Could have sworn there was something else I was using with it, but what a combination that is.
So if you look at the moment, it's now getting builds where it works. My only reason why I'm unsure where to put it is because the difference between hand cannons and PC to console is night and day. You'll get much better results, in my personal opinion, with auto rifles. But for Thorn as a gun, I kind of have a love-hate relationship. The only thing I really want with Thorn is a bigger magazine. That's the only thing I'd really like. That's what I really like about the Ace of Spades. A bigger mag. But for me, for PvP, it's getting better again. For PvE, it's not something I particularly use. I don't know, I just wanted to bring it up because I used to love the gun in D1 and wanted your sort of thoughts on it.
No, I think D1 it was such an iconic weapon because of the wild phase that it went through,
Yeah.
where it was unbeatable.
That was insane, wasn't it?
D2, it's nice to have a weapon coming back from D1. It's an interesting one that's not really similar to any other weapon in the game. I say that the Monarchs can do similar now, but damage over time is something that's got to become a huge part of the game in the future. It's good fun to use, and if you're a warlock and you pair it with necrotic grips, you've got a good build there.
Let's put B. I think B's fair, yeah. I think C's too low for it, yeah. Okay, have you got one you'd like to pick?
I believe I have an S tier.
Go on then.
So, as I said, I quite like when Destiny plays on nostalgia, brings a gun back. I like weapons that have a huge quest line behind them. I'm going to say Outbreak Perfected, and I'll tell you why.
Hey, I just seen that a second ago. Where is it? That's
Middle row,
Sleeper.
fourth to the left.
Middle row, fourth left. Why can I not see this? There it is.
Maybe it's... the reason I put this S tier, I said great quest behind it. It is very much viable in PvP. If you have the masterwork for it, catalyst for it,
Mhm.
the nano cells that come out of it are a hell of a lot better. If you're just using it as a straight up pulse rifle, it's good. And pulse rifles are actually in an okay place at the moment, so PvP is solid. When it comes to PvE, you can clear ads rapid with this. It's got good range, you can use it close range, and it's actually viable for boss DPS.
Okay.
S tier for me.
My question is, so the quest line is amazing. Like, it's phenomenal. It's one of the best things Bungie's put into the games. But best of the best, is it the best pulse rifle?
I would argue it's potentially the best pulse rifle in that it can do everything. It's maybe not the most fun to use, but I'm saying it's up there, yeah.
Because the alternatives you've got what? Vigilance Wing,
Pigeon's Wings PvP, I would argue, and it's okay. Bad
I
Juju's
love it. I love it for
awesome
PvP.
weapon for PvE,
PvE.
not so much PvP.
So
I
tell you what,
I'm happy.
I'll make you a deal, right? If Outbreak Perfected goes in S, I really, really, really think Ace of Spades should go in S just because of the meta. It's the meta at the moment.
I don't think it can go into S if Outbreak Perfected, because Outbreak Perfected can do everything, whereas Ace of Spades can. Don't get me wrong, I love Suros, I love Anarchy. They're incredible weapons, but they're not S tier.
Okay, I'll leave it at the moment. We can argue that off camera. So you just picked Outbreak. Let's have a look. I want to pick something that's a little bit different. Here's a funny one actually. Tractor Cannon. I think it needs to be D because it's a really funny mechanic.
It's weird. It's either D or it's S tier, isn't it?
When it came out, it was not too bad, but
okay.
But you would never want to waste a heavy slot with a shotgun.
No.
You know what I mean? Right. It doesn't work. And I think D tier fits because it's fun to use. It is really funny, but it's just not viable. No,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that one's nice and easy.
I think we might have there's two that I'm saying I'll throw them both out there because they both fit in the same category. If you throw up Wardcliff Coil and Whisper of the Worm.
Oh, fuck.
They both got great viability for PvE. Wardcliff Coil more for PvE.
Well, I've got Whisper of the Worm now.
Alright, if you say Whisper of the Worm...
No, that's 1,000... I've got this wrong.
1k voices. Which, arguably, is good as well. We'll say Whisper of the Worm, I think that needs to go in B tier because it's great for DPS, it's great for PvE. You don't see people using snipers much in
that
PvP
one's
at
Whisper
the
of the
moment,
Worm, isn't it?
They don't really use Whisper of the Worm. Similarly, Wardcliff Coil, I think that could probably go up to A tier because it's great for dealing with multiple enemies. It's great for PvP for doing damage, PvE for doing damage. Just not the best, so probably A tier.
Okay. I would definitely agree with Wardcliff Coil. The only thing is that it's very easy to hurt yourself with it. It can be, but I've got an argument, and I don't think you can actually win this one, right?
Okay.
And I've just lost it on this screen. It's actually quite difficult to keep an eye on them. Where did I see it? Where did I see you? You're gonna laugh. Here it is.
It's not S tier anymore.
So I'm gonna argue why it is, right?
Okay.
And the reason why it is because PvP, it's still amazing as much as it's been nerfed. PvE,
match game modifiers, that's
PvE. So one of the big
ways around it.
Yeah, there's been a massive focus now on marching archetypes for enemies and stuff. So high level content all has it. The other thing is as well, for example, nightfalls. See if you run this in a nightfall, it keeps you completely flexible with your build. A lot of people kind of don't look at it for its full use. Like they just see it as an easy PvP kill gun. The ability that it has switching between archetypes is really underrated, and the reason why I'd put it S, is it the best exotic auto rifle? I would say it's slightly better for utility than Suros. So I think that's why it should be S.
Yeah.
I know it's not quite meta
and the
now.
fact it's accessible, it's a world drop, you know.
Yeah, there you go. That's a very good shout actually.
I've got one more that I really want to throw up,
right.
And then I'm probably happy with the rest, sort of fitting in wherever. They're all sort of mid tier to me. Trinity Ghoul, the bow, third row down, fourth from the left.
It's that one, isn't it?
Similarly to when you're running Risk Runner, so for that reason, I think it probably needs to go in the same category. If you get a kill, an arc kill of any kind, when you fire your next arrow, it chains lightning everywhere. So it's sort of like Zalo Supercell, but it's a bow and more accurate. For ad clearing, it is unbelievable, but it's situational because you have to be running an arc subclass, really.
See, I would say it's good, but it's good fun, but it needs a lot of work because bows as an archetype, I think, need a lot of work.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at Risk Runner and Trinity Ghoul without their abilities, they're both the same level. They're both pretty shit.
Okay.
I would argue Trinity Ghoul's ability is easier to proc than Risk Runner because you only need to get an arc kill. You don't and that could be the first blow from the arrow. Whereas Risk Runner, you're relying on taking up damage before that ability procs. So I think it's at least level, if not better.
E?
Yeah.
You're not getting A in a bow. Sorry, you're not getting A in a bow.
You got any more you want to throw up there?
I'm
I think
trying to
Terrible has to go T tier. Actually, no, it's here.
Which one?
Terrible. Exactly. That's my
I
point.
don't even know what is that the shotgun?
No, it's the very first cell. It's
This.
SMG.
No, that's Bastion.
No, it's not.
Is that not Bastion?
I can't see it on my camera, but that looks like Terrible to me.
I thought that was Bastion. I might be wrong. Let me
I'm
double
sure it's
check.
Terrible.
I'm just trying.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa,
you're
whoa.
right. Yeah, it's
Down to T tier. Fuck that.
D tier. Right. Okay.
No,
I don't.
T trash.
No,
Jobbies, titties, bad.
I don't know it, so I haven't used it.
Wow.
One
Okay.
I wanted to bring up, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. Situational, but amazing fun.
I want to
I
put
was
it
up
in
just a
B.
tier above tractor cannon. Yeah.
See, the thing is though, the damage output. Remember when we were running? What's the name of the dungeon? As you can tell, I'm totally out of date with it. Yeah, Pit of Heresy. See the boss at the end of that? I would just tear through that. Elites. When you set the perk that it shoots the whole burst at once.
Yeah.
The damage is amazing, but again, it's very difficult to get that full output because you have to be really accurate. I love it. It's probably one of my favourite Destiny exotics, but it's not fantastic. But again, I'll give it C. I'd like to, if it was me personally, I'd put it higher, but I know what you mean.
If I'm looking at that the category below with fighting line and tractor cannon, you can probably put the colony in there as well. It just sits below Jade Rabbit in the table at the bottom.
Yeah, I would probably put an F. I think it's shit.
It's as shit as fighting lion, but has the same benefit in that it's good for unlocking other grenade launchers. If
Okay.
anything, that's easier to use than fighting lion.
Where is it? Mida.
Oh dear. This hurts me, but it can't go above C, I don't think. It's just not viable. It's good, but it's just not the. I'll put it in B.
It's a bit like, I know you use it. It's kind of the Lord of the Roost fiasco with Jade Rabbit for you.
Yeah.
Is it a better scout rifle than Jade Rabbit? Yeah, probably. But
I wouldn't say so. I can 3-tap with my Jade Rabbit.
Okay. Well,
but the fact that Mida has a pairing and it can go with Mida Mini Tool, that's something I love that they've put into this game. Like
yeah,
the sort
okay,
of
we'll
interaction between weapons, because you've got that Mida Mini Tool, you've got Sturm and Drang, which we'll get to in a moment, and you've got the likes of Necrotic Grips and Thorn. I love that they're sort of creating builds that you can pair together.
Yeah, I think we'll keep it in B because it's got more thought process behind it and isn't just a replastered different gun from Destiny 1 or whatever. So as much as it's a Destiny 1 gun, they've done something with it. So
I think you can put Sturm in the category below. Probably put that as a C because it's a great gun, and
I've seen
if you can
loads of
get it
people
to
using
proc
it
and you can
recently.
use it right, it's great. And the fact that it looks like Han Solo's gun is excellent. But
I can't see it.
pretty sure.
This is the worst thing. Like me trying to find this on this tier list. This is how blind I am.
Somewhere in the middle at the right. Oh no, wait. Middle row, fourth from the left.
Fourth from the left. I'm trying to see what middle row is for you because it's different for me.
Oh, sorry, second row down.
Oh, there it is. So what do you think, C?
C. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people using it in PvP. The thing is, for me, I can't use slow guns. It's just too slow.
Crimson.
I like Crimson as well, and it's kind of meta at the moment.
I would argue that's a monstrous weapon. Brilliant. I would. If you get a catalyst, let's put it in. Let's do
With
that.
catalyst,
It's got a great pair. The only it can be used for PvP, PvE, but you're not using it for boss DPS.
I used it in high level content when Destiny first came out. That was my exotic, so I'd give it. I love hand cannons as well, so I wanted to pick one, and it's a
What's
little.
the empty tier now? I see it. What's the description?
Not trash, but there's better things to use. So potentially, so that's something that isn't really fun to use. So like tractor cannon. Actually, I don't think the colony and fighting lion are fun to use. I would
What?
put them in F.
Right, the colony's got tracking. I would argue that
Right,
100% goes there.
Right.
Fighting line, you can bounce them round corners. I think this category's for guns like Rat King.
I'll give you that actually. I'm going to put Rat King in there right now. I've seen it just
Top
a
right.
sec. Top right. One thing for me.
Cerberus +1 probably in the same category actually. For the same
Cerberus
reason.
+1 is a pile of wank.
It's a gimmicky gun. Top row again, I believe.
There it is there. I'd put in T. I think it's shit. I've tried using the clip and it's too small.
Yeah, okay.
It could potentially be here, but if we're talking trash. Actually, sorry, this is one I wanted to pull up because it's something again I would normally pick. Huckleberry. Now, I've put it A, but we could probably negotiate bringing it lower down. The reason being, it's amazing for PvP to an extent, I would say as well.
Plays like an auto rifle. A very short range one, but I would say B tier. Yeah, and I'd agree with you. Maybe it's
B.
probably on the border between A and B, so I'd be happy with it in either. But
again, these might be outdated because I've not played it. I played the DLC and then stopped literally a few weeks after. But like I said, this is all personal opinion, so don't kill us in comments. One I was going to say would be Arbalist. I think it's shit. I think it has the potential to be a phenomenal weapon. So in PvP, for example, you get
it's used a lot in PvP.
you get 2 shots.
Yeah.
So if you have to be,
that's potentially 2 kills.
but you have to be like absolutely bang on. I don't know. For me, I've tried using it and I don't know.
I would probably argue it goes 1 tier up because it's actually pretty fun to use. It's just not a sensible option.
Fair enough.
I think that's the case with a lot of linear fusion rifles.
You got any?
Can you scroll down a wee smish just to see some of those that are still in?
Some of them are duplicates. I don't know why. There's quite a lot of duplicates in this tier list.
Oh, wow. I think you could probably put the Prospector, which is the grenade launcher, into F tier.
No arguments. We'll just chuck it in there.
No, I think
Rose needs
Rose
a lot
can
higher.
probably go in the fun category, just not too
It's not viable.
not high usage, is
Oh,
it?
that's no, that's not. It's not called Rose, is it? It's
Oh.
mouth. The one that heals you is the alternative to form. The name's past us, but you know what I mean.
Fuck me. Yeah, it goes and then it becomes that. Is
want...
malfeasance there? That's maybe an interesting one.
Okay.
For Gambit, it's probably pretty high up on the list. For everything else, it's shit.
Can I put this one in when it's here? Twin-tailed fox. It's just a really bad rocket launcher.
Yep, no arguments.
It's shite. Like, there's so many better options. Don't use it. One I was going to pick there though would be Vigilance Wing. Now, it was meta for a lot of the start of Destiny, right? It's now because of the buff. Oh, I've just dropped it. The buff in pulse rifles is still quite good.
You've
So for
dropped
me,
it in F tier.
I've not. I've actually put one in there. Lovely. For me, I think it's B. It's still a solid gun.
good.
It's still solid. It's useful in PvP. Really useful, sorry, but PvE is just so B. I don't think I can put lower than B because of how much of the meta it was for such a long period of time as well.
There's one for you. Xenophage. 3rd row down, near the right hand side.
Oh, there it is. I never used this because I left Destiny, but I've heard like it's amazing, so I'm going to guess it's going to be here.
Xenophage. Xenophage was the one to the right of that. It's next to Fighting Lion on the grid down the bottom now.
Is
It's
that
just
it?
below. Yeah, I think that's it. So I would actually argue this is S tier. No, A tier. A tier because I've not had too much success in PvP, but the PvE capabilities of this is just unparalleled. This is my go-to weapon in my heavy slot. And myself and Dancat managed to get it in an hour from start to finish. That was
Nice.
pretty good.
Nice man. I was going to see Sunshot.
Shite.
It's part of the meta, I don't know. Hand cannons. Just put B. Or do you think?
I would argue C at best. I mean, it's not a good hand cannon. It's not usable.
It's because you're a console player. It's
Here
used
we
a lot
go.
on PC. It's used a lot on PC. It is used. I'll put it in C for now, but I think
I think
there's
you
an
could probably
argument.
put Last Word in the same category actually, because it doesn't act like a hand
I
cannon.
fucking hate Last Word. I hate it. But again, it's a lot of people's favourite gun. I've actually lost it in this.
Pro.
There it is there. C.
Can you put a trace rifle in? Yeah, C tier.
Yeah, if we're doing trace rifle, let's go with the Prometheus
Full power
Lines.
or something.
Prometheus
Oh, no,
Lines.
no.
I think that's the best one.
Really?
Just because, again, if you look at the meta, remember when it first came out and it was just like you go in there with
Laser
PvP.
tag.
It was laser tag and PvP.
The laser tag week, that was wild. I don't think it can really go above D tier, to be honest.
What about C? Because it is good fun, but it needs work.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
If it had a shotgun, Legendary Access is probably F tier. For me.
There it is, pish. I'll put it F. I think
F because it's there, but you could pick something better easily.
yeah.
Thunderlord, far right.
Oh, that's got to be high. It's got
That's
to be
pretty
high.
good.
It's got to be at least B.
I don't think that's Thunderlord, is it?
Yeah, that's Thunderlord there, mate. Is it not?
Oh, I thought it was second row, second from the right.
It's the same. There's a lot of
Oh,
duplicate
that's
images.
fine.
I don't know why this tier list's got a lot of duplicates, so B, we both happy with B. I think that's fair.
Probably slight truth in there somewhere, maybe.
Truth needs to be high. It's the best exotic rocket launcher. I know there's the new one be added because obviously there's new exotics not in this from Beyond Light. Where is Truth? I seen that a second ago actually.
Left.
Uh,
You literally just hovered over it. Go
Oh,
up
there it
one,
is.
right one.
Is it the best rocket launcher? Yes, but it doesn't. I don't think
it
it.
be.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, we've only got two more that can go into B, so let's be careful.
No,
here.
it staggers. You're okay. It
Oh,
staggers
that's
down.
okay. See the slug rifle that's top row, fourth from the right. I love the idea of that, but it's fucking shit. F tier.
Yeah, I would agree. It's shite. Sleeper. This is one we've not spoke about. This is actually a very
Great for
good.
DPS, but situational.
It's amazing for PvE. Amazing gun. But for PvP,
It's even situational within PvE, so I would argue C tier.
I'm not putting it below B, just because of what it is. I can't.
All
do
it can do is boss damage. That is it.
You're not gonna make me put Sleeper on C.
And I spent fucking hours getting it.
Fuck's sake. One I really want to bring up, and I absolutely adore it, and it's Black Talon. Big shout out to Bundy. It's one of his favourite exotics, along with Suros.
Yeah,
Has to be A.
100%.
It's the best sword. To be honest, I'm really tempted to put it in S because
Well-
it's amazing at both, and it's the ability. It was the first sword, I think, I might be wrong here, to bring in both range and close damage, which I think's phenomenal. I think
No,
it's
I had
such.
swords in D1 that done that. Oh jeez, what was the arc sword from D1? But they were a nightmare to get.
Oh,
If
can't
you look
wait.
at swords now, like Fallen Guillotine, they are beastly with damage.
I
What's
thought
the new one that
Guillotine's
heals you?
amazing. Oh, that's the
Chainsaw
Lament,
sword.
the Lament,
Lament.
which isn't obviously.
I
on
would
this
argue
list.
that's probably better.
Still like Black
But
Talon.
it's not on the list, so for the sake of this, we'll leave it there.
Right, we'll put it in A. We'll
Um,
put it in A.
Let's have a look at. Let's pick one more each. I think we're probably.
Yeah, that'll be a good
Probably
place to
good,
stop, I think, yeah.
Pick one more.
I'm trying to think of something that we could have a good discussion about, because it's very situational, a lot of these. Here's one for me, because I'm a Titan player. Monte
Okay.
Carlo.
I love this gun.
I also love this gun. I actually prefer this gun to Suros. Suros is a better gun, I would agree, but I still think Hardlight's the best thing, but I would put it in B, the reason being that it's definitely a gun that benefits Titans over
Yeah.
other classes, because it's obviously directly impacted with melee. There's a lot of really cool builds you can do with it. It's just a weapon without the ability. It's very easy to use. Auto rifles are always really strong in PvE and obviously PvP, but it's got good use in PvP as well, constantly recharging abilities. I think it's just a good gun. It also looks really cool. I think it's got really
Yeah.
nice design. We haven't
I
actually
think
talked
that
too much
probably
about
is
design.
Titans what Thorn is to Warlocks at the moment.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
Or Tunnels.
Um,
Right, I say that.
We don't talk about them in this channel either. See, I've got one I don't know if you'd want to talk about it. You don't have to, but I was going to say Bad Juju, but again, we've kind of spoke about it already, haven't we?
I think you could probably put Bad Juju in the C and D category. I love it. It's one of my. It's probably my favourite exotic in Destiny. Galahorn aside.
Yeah, we don't even mention it anymore. But
I think my last pick it has to be Izanagi's Burden.
okay.
Third row.
Yeah,
very far left.
There it is. Yeah.
What a fucking weapon! It's not as good as it used to be, but the fact you can pile all the damage into one bullet, wow. But that's all it's good for, so I would argue it's probably C or D tier.
It's like Celestial Nighthawk Gunslinger, but in a gun.
Yeah, and to get it is fucking horrific. I don't think we can justify any higher than D, to be honest.
For Izanagi's Burden, sorry.
Yeah. Now what else is it good for?
C. I'll meet you halfway.
Okay.
It's a very, very
Got yourself a
popular
deal. There you have it. If anybody's looking to start D2,
don't ask us for our opinion.
welcome to the next few months and what you're going to be chasing. Start at S tier and work your way down. Funnily enough, if you look at a lot of the top tier weapons, there's at least one from each tier, I believe, that you can go out and do a quest line for rather than just wait for a world drop. There's also ones in each tier that you can just get randomly from engrams, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
You know, you can just wait for hard light to drop, but you can go out and get Outbreak perfected.
Yeah, that's true actually. There's a good mix. Like I said, we haven't went through all weapons and we know this list's fairly dated, but we just wanted to kind of cherry pick some guns that we could have a discussion about. Obviously, there's some down there that we've not discussed, but we kind of wanted to
What we could also do is see if we'd said, if you're talking PvP, this is the tier list. If you're talking PvE, this is the tier list. Whereas if you're just looking for something that does everything, this is probably the tier list.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. If this was a PvP tier list, it would be completely different. So S tier would be Ace of Spades, Suros, these sort of things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But we're talking about the game as a whole. But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop.
Perfect. If you're looking forward to more mediocre content, look no further. We'll be finding some easy to do ideas. We've got some more complicated ideas in the pipeline, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.